probably the most interesting parts of the human anatomy because it does so many complex things that sometimes you don't even know are happening. I'm Dr. Patrick Lambert, and on this episode of Universal Sciences, we're going to be talking about the parts of the human brain, what they do. More importantly, we're going to be talking about the amygdala, the hippocampus, and the prefrontal cortex. But before we get into the episode, don't forget to check out our friends over at Audible. Audible is the leading audiobook getting website. See, with Audible, you don't need to read. And you don't even need to go to a bookstore to get books. You can just go right over to Audible and just listen to a book while you drive, while you're writing your term papers, anything really. So remember to go to www.audible.com/science and use the promo code SCIENCE to get one free book. I am personally right now enjoying the book Ender's Game, which is much better than the movie in my opinion. But with this kind of book, I probably wouldn't have read it anyway. Anyway, now on to the show. Now, first, we're gonna be talking about kind of some metaphors to get you accustomed to how the brain works because it can be complicated. It it would be like a car, for example, like a moving vehicle. You see, you have the hippocampus, which would be the vehicle itself. You have the prefrontal cortex, which would be the driver, and then there's the amygdala, which are like the rubber tires or the brakes. Now, the prefrontal cortex is sending information to the hippocampus to store. So that would be like a driver not telling the car, but making the car go in reverse or go faster. That's kind of how the prefrontal cortex works in relation to the hippocampus. Now, the amygdala is kind of like it's more primal and based on instinct. So it'd be like the rubber tires, for example. If you are going too fast and you turn too fast, the rubber tires they will send the car spinning in directions, and sometimes it'll stop suddenly, and it's kind of like you can't really control it very much. And what it does, it pretty much stops the prefrontal cortex from having control. It takes over and decides either the fight or flight or freeze system in place.